Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR with the latest on Tropical Storm FELIX. Almost a hurricane. You can see this is where it was this time yesterday, and in the last 24 hours we have seen it continue to organize and continue to move west. It's starting to show a little bit more signs of movement off to the west-northwest. Also note we have an interesting feature near Bermuda that's starting to look like it might become something. And then off the screen, as the sun goes down here, you can see another invest out here, as well as Tropical Storm Henriette in the eastern Pacific. Let's start with FELIX, of course, 70 miles an hour they admit at the Hurricane Center. And by the way, they are the best in the official information you get from them. They admit it could be a hurricane, as we're already seeing an I-type feature. It's moving west at 18, and it's down to 999 millibars. It's in an area of maybe slightly higher pressures, which is why maybe that pressure isn't, say, 989 instead of 999, but still it's almost a hurricane. 12.7 north, 65.3 west, so it's crossed 65 degrees. So if you're in the Northern Islands or Puerto Rico, as well to the south of you, you're not going to have to worry about it. You can see it should become a hurricane later tonight or tomorrow, and then steadily strengthen into a major hurricane. And the forecasters admit there is a strong possibility that this will undergo rapid intensification. So while the forecast shows that it could become a Category 3 hurricane by 2 p.m. Tuesday, don't be surprised if it's a Category 3 hurricane by, say, Sunday night, Monday morning. That's very possible. If it ramps up quick, it could become a hurricane by tomorrow and then be a Category 3 by tomorrow night. A lot of times they spin up faster. The track has shifted a little bit to the north, as indicated by models that the ridge of high pressure might back off a little bit, but it's still unknown. It is forecast now to enter the Bay of Campeche in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, it could be further to the north, it could be further to the south. Right now, the Yucatan and Belize appear to be under the gun. Here's the latest satellite as the sun starts to go down. You can see expanding outflow, despite it being so close to land. Good symmetry, starting to get more convection. Looking good, and you can see there almost an I-type feature starting to show. So this is very likely at least very close to, if not even a hurricane. You can see the water vapor there, a lot of moisture with it. Here are the models. Current motion, if you extrapolate it out, would take it into Nicaragua and Honduras. If you look at the consensus, they are actually up here towards, say, north of Cozumel, and then coming out into the Gulf. The furthest north models up here, say like the no gaps up into the Gulf of Mexico through the Yucatan Channel. Furthest south, of course, have been the GFS and now the BAMs. So the Hurricane Center is right in line with, say, the GFS and the BAMs, but again, it is unknown exactly where the track will go. You can see upper level conditions are extremely favorable for development, so don't be surprised if this becomes a major hurricane. Even a Category 4 hurricane is not out of the question, maybe even stronger than that. They tend to get strong when everything's in their favor, and then once it gets over the western Caribbean, if it gets up here north of Honduras and Nicaragua, it's going to be in ideal conditions with very hot water, ridging to the north, anticyclonic flow, low shear, the whole 9 yards. You can see here it was this time yesterday, and it started to blow up this convection, and this allowed it to vertically stack, which is why it's almost a hurricane now. And you can see it's really continued straight like this, and again, a track like this over time is very, very possible, and we'll see exactly what happens with it. Keep an eye on it if you're in Jamaica and the Caymans, but I think it'll probably go south of you. You can see this feature here near Bermuda. We've had a lot of instability up in this region. This may do something, we'll have to wait and see. An upper level low kind of venting it here, and this could get in the way of our next system, which you can see has been this tropical wave, and now an Invest 98L. Not looking too well organized, but we'll wait and see what happens. You can see this wave, this mess could become something significant, maybe even down the road for the U.S., hinted by some of the long-range models. Keep an eye on that. Here's our 98L Invest. It's not looking all that optimistic for development, but generally westward. I mean, that's what we're looking at with the ridging, and if it does develop, we may see this become our next storm. In the eastern Pacific, Tropical Storm Henriette's almost a hurricane, 65 miles an hour, west-northwest at 11. starting to move away from the coast, thankfully 994 millibars. You can see it's forecast to become a hurricane and head on out in this general direction, paralleling the Baja. You can see the satellite here definitely getting better organized with a lot of good banding features. Finally, in the western Pacific, we have Typhoon Fitao, still 80 miles an hour for 3 days. It's looking less likely to get to major status, but it may become a Cat 2 and take a track up towards Japan, and maybe even hit Japan as a typhoon on Thursday. So watch this. Right now, not looking too good on satellite. I'm Mike Naso from IPR. Latest on FELIX. Stay tuned. I'll see you next time.